Hi everyone, very good evening. Welcome back to Geeks for Geeks practice. Quickly give me a +1 in the chat if my voice is clearly audible to everyone and everything is working fine. Then I'll start off with the problem as well. So please give me a +1 in the chat if my voice is clearly audible to everyone. And then I'll share my screen as well. So Rishit says a +1. Great. All right. So I've shared my screen here. So let me see in the chat. Okay. So the problem, hi Yash Pawar. So the problem was burst balloons. Okay. The problem name was nothing but burst balloons. Now this was a very good problem. It has been asked in some companies as well. So I will say that it is a hard problem, but you can, after this video is over, we will have it as medium. So you can directly search my name, that is Yash Dwivedi, and you'll get my LinkedIn profile directly, Datta. Okay, so what does the problem say? It says that you are given n balloons. Okay, so basically what will happen with you is that, let's say you are having this balloons, right? So what you will be given is, you'll be given n balloons, right? In this problem, what you will be given is, you'll be given n balloons. Okay, now when you're given these n balloons, so every balloon has a amount associated with it, a value associated with it. So you can see that each balloon is painted with a number represented by an array. Okay, so let's say there are n balloons. So for like the very first balloon will have a value array of 0. Okay, then the second balloon will have the value array of 1 and so on. Let's say if 2, 5, 7 like this data is given, so basically the first balloon will have the value 2 printed on it. The second, this balloon will have a value 5 printed on it. This balloon will have a value 7 printed on it. Okay, right? Is this point clear to everyone? I can see a lot of people are watching us. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. I'll try to explain this as simply as possible. Okay. Then it says that you are asked to burst all the balloons. Okay. So you have to burst the balloons and you have to burst them in such a way, right? So that you get the maximum profit. So let's say if there is a balloon, like if there is an array, okay, let's say this is array of I minus 2. Like let's say this is an array. Like this, let's say that we are having the data something like this. Okay. Let's say we are having 5, 4, 7, 8, 9, 12, 3, 1. Okay, so if you, let's say if you burst this particular balloon, okay, if you burst this particular balloon with, if you burst this particular ith balloon, then what will happen? Let's see that. Okay, so if you are bursting, if you are asked to burst all the balloons, so if you burst this ith balloon, then you will get what? Array of I minus 1 into array of I into array of I plus 1. So if you burst this ith balloon, right, if this is the array of ith balloon, right, if this is the ith balloon, then the result will be that you'll get what? You'll get the value of 7 into 8 into 9. Okay, this much value will be added, this much value will be added to your answer. Is this part clear? When you burst this balloon, let's say that after this is how it will look like. Then the rest of the array will look like this. So then the remaining balloons would look like this. But if you burst this balloon 8, then you'll get, then you'll multiply these three numbers. So if you're bursting the ith balloon, then the value that you will get is ith balloon into I minus 1th balloon into I plus 1th balloon value. Okay, is this part clear to everyone? This particular problem statement part is clear. Right, now what you have to do is, you have to do what? You have to simply maximize your profit. You have to maximize the value that you are going to get. Is it clear? Please write clear in the chat, everyone, if you're clear till this point, that if you burst the ith balloon, then you are going to get the profit as array of I minus 1 into array of I into array of I plus 1. So if you're bursting a particular balloon, then you will multiply all these three values, that is one lesser than it, one greater than it value, and you'll multiply that, and that is the value that you are going to get. Right now, if the ith balloon or the I minus 1th balloon gets out of bound, so what does this mean? So if you will see what is happening here. If you will see here, let's say if you look at this place, right? If you look at the very first balloon, so can I say that there is no balloon towards its left? Okay, there is no balloon towards its left. So what I can assume is, I can assume that towards its left there is a balloon with the value as 1. Okay, and if I burst this 5, then the balloon as 5. Okay, so I'll get the profit as 1 into 5 into 4. Okay, this is the thing. Similarly, if I'm having, let's say, this particular value as the last value, let's say 3. Okay, so if I burst this guy, then I'll get what? Profit is 12 into 3 into, there's nothing on the right side, so I can assume it as 1. Okay, so is this part clear? Is this part clear? So basically for this, what I can basically do is, like, let's say this is the array that has been given. So I can add 1 on the left side of this array and I can add 1 on the right side of this array. Okay, please write 1 in the chat if you're clear with this thing, that I'll add 1 on the left side and I'll add 1 on the right side of this array. So I'll add 1 in the starting and I'll add 1 in the ending of this particular array, right? Such that what will happen is, in that case, I'll not get out of bound, because now when I'll be at this guy, so I can easily access this guy and this guy. And similarly for the RAS guy also, right? I hope that everyone is clear till this point. If you're clear till this point, you can write a clear in the chat. Okay, now what does the problem say further? So consider it as if there is a balloon with one painted. So this much part I've considered. Now you have to return the maximum value that you will get. Okay, so if you will see one thing, right? Let's consider this example: 3 1. Okay, if you have 3 1 5 7. Okay, sorry, 5 feet. So I'm saying this thing, that let's say if you burst this balloon, okay, if you burst a balloon with a higher value, okay, let's say for a second, let's say that if you burst, let's say, a balloon with a higher value, then what will happen? Let's say if you burst this balloon, okay, then you'll get the profit as 1 into 5 into 8. Okay, and then what will happen? This balloon will get burst. Okay, this is what is going to happen. But in this case, if you will burst the higher balloons earlier na, then you're going to get a lesser profit. Please hit the like button, guys. I can see a lot of people are watching us, so please hit the like button if you haven't already. Please write a +1 in the chat as well if you are watching till this point, and hit the like button if you haven't already. I can see a lot of people are watching us, so please hit the like button. All right. Great. So if you will see here, right? So if I burst this balloon with the value as 5, okay, so I'll get the profit as 1 into 5 into 8. But I'll never be able to use this value again. Correct? Please write never in the chat. I will never be able to use this value, right? If this is 5, if I burst this guy, right? So then I get the profit as 1 into 5 into 8, but I'll never be able to use this. Please write never in the chat if you're clear with this point. That if I use this guy, if I burst this guy 5, then I'll get the profit as 1 into 5 into 8, but I'll never be able to use it again. Correct? Is this point clear to everyone? I hope that my voice is clear. 1 into 5 into 8. Okay, so I will be at a loss. Why I will be at a loss? Because if you will see here, right? If you will see here, what instead of that, what I can think of is, if you will see, so if I burst the balloon as 1, right? So I'll get the profit as 1 into like 1 into 3 into 5, right? I'll get this profit, right? So I'll burst this balloon. Suppose that after that, if I'm bursting this part, if I'm bursting this guy, right, then I'm getting 3 into 5 into 8. So I am multiplying the higher value. Like, see, you can see that 5 is getting 5 is helping me to maximize the answer so many times, right? Is this part clear? So there'll be opportunities like this for me. So that is why we'll preserve the higher values for later purpose. This is one of the concepts that you can understand, that okay, there'll be a lot of ways. Now in this way, can I say that there'll be a lot of combinations, right? There'll be a lot of ways, okay, or you can say combinations, right? This is the thing. Now when I say that there'll be a lot of combinations, right, and you need to find the maximum of all ways, right? So in that case, which particular thing comes to your mind when you want to try out all possible ways? Then recursion comes to your mind. Please write REC in the chat. Okay, you can write REC in the chat if you're clear with this thing, that when this thing comes to your mind, that is all possible ways, when you want to try out all possible ways for yourself, then what comes to your mind? Recursion comes to your mind, right? Is that clear to everyone? Is that clear to everyone? You can write REC in the chat. Okay, so what comes to my mind? Recursion comes to my mind. Now how will I use it? That's the case. So let's have a look at this, right? Let's say 1 5, sorry, let me see the value, 3158. Okay, so let's say if you are having this value, right, 315, and then you're having a 8. Okay, so as I said, you will add 1 towards this side. Okay, you'll add a 1 here, and you'll add a 1 here. Yeah, then you'll use the DP part, that is fine. Okay, now initially you will think that okay, this is your L and this is your R. Okay, left range and right range, you can say, or you can say this as IJ also. That totally depends on you. Now if you have this much range, okay, so what I'm saying is, let's say out of this range, let me write this again. Just a second. Okay, so let us say that what I'm doing is, if this is the range L to R, right, because this is extra, this has been like this one and this one has been added as extra for support purpose, right? So suppose that if I choose to burst this guy, right, if I burst this guy, okay, So in this range, if I burst this guy, suppose that, assume that this much part has already been calculated. Okay, assume that this much part has been already calculated, right? This is calculated. Okay, the maximum answer for this part has been calculated. Now, if this part, like assume that this part has already been burst. Okay, assume that this particular part has already been burst, right? If I assume that this particular part already has been burst and I have a certain answer calculated for it, let's say this is stored in some temp or whatever, right? Plus what I can say is, in that case I can say that, like suppose that I write a function, I write a recursive function such that this particular part is there, like this is the L to R. Okay, and suppose that I'm assuming that, okay, let's say this much part I have already burst. Okay, assume that I'm writing a function such that this much part is burst. Now what are the balloons that will be left for me? I can say that 3 1 1. Okay, so the what is the profit that I'll get if this is the particular guy, right? Let's say this is a particular guy. So this guy, okay, into its left and into this value, right, into R plus 1. Is that clear to everyone? Is that clear to everyone? Right. If this is L, so this can be said as L minus 1 and this can be said as R plus 1. Is this point clear to everyone? Like I'll tell you again. So let's say if I'm having 1 3 and 1 5 8, and then I'm having L. Okay, so if this is the range L to R, okay, and let's suppose I'm choosing any random guy, any kth guy. Okay, so let's say if I'm choosing this kth guy, right? If I'm assuming that, okay, this is the last guy that I burst in this particular range. Okay, so in this, like, see, the total range is what? The total range is from this L till this particular R. Okay, now I'm saying that, okay, in this particular range, what I want to do, is I want to have this guy burst at the last. Okay, so in that case, can I say that I will assume that, okay, these people are already burst, okay, and these people are already burst, right? So I will say that in such a case, if I am bursting this kth guy at the end, so what will be the profit that I'll get? Like this is L minus 1, this is R plus 1, so I'll get the profit as AL, okay, into AL minus 1, sorry, into AK, into what, into A of R plus 1, plus the already calculated answer, right? Plus I will call the recursion, plus I'll call the recursion, and I'll calculate this part, like from L till what, K minus 1. So I'll pass what, L, and I'll pass the range as K minus 1, plus the recursion for what, plus I'll call the recursion for K plus 1 till R. Is this point clear to everyone? Is this point clear to everyone? I'm thinking that, okay, if K is the last balloon that I'm going to burst, okay, if this is the kth balloon that I'm going to burst at the end, right, and assuming that this, like in this range L to R, all the other balloons are already burst, so this will be the this function will give me the answer for L to K minus 1, that the maximum answer for L to K minus 1 if I burst the balloon, and this will give me the answer from K plus 1 till R, and this is the current answer that I'll be getting, that, okay, if I burst the kth balloon, right? So in that case, assuming that all the other balloons in this range L to R are already burst and kth is not burst, so if I'm bursting the kth balloon, then I'll get the profit as what, L minus 1, okay, into the kth balloon into the R plus 1. Is this point clear to everyone? Please write clear in the chat. Is everyone clear with this point? Is everyone clear with this part or not? Please tell me, guys. This is what we are. This is how we are going to do it. Is it clear? You can hit the like button if you are clear till this point. If there is any doubt, you can still ask me. Is it clear, Mahesh and Naikaj and Rishit and everyone? Is that clear to you? So we are going from last to first. Yeah, basically, as I said, let's say if in the end I am adding 1 1, right, and I'm having several balloons, like, right, let's say if I'm having several balloons, so I'm saying that assume that, okay, like this is the range L, this is the range R, right, current range L to R. Now I am saying that, let's suppose that if there is any kth balloon that I'm going to burst in the end, right, so I am assuming that all the rest of the balloons are already burst, like this green region that I am cutting. I'm assuming that, okay, suppose that this is already calculated. Okay, so I'm saying that recursion of what? If I'm bursting the kth balloon, so suppose that this left part, all the left balloons towards the left of k, from L to k minus 1, all the balloons are already burst. So this means that from L to k minus 1, all the balloons are already burst, and its answer is calculated. Then I'm assuming that, okay, from what? From this particular portion, that is from k plus 1 till the end, also all the balloons are already burst. Plus I'm bursting the kth balloon. So if I'm bursting the kth balloon in the end, so this will mean that if all the balloons towards the left are already burst, right? So if these balloons are already burst, right, so only kth balloon is left. So in this case, I'll multiply it with L minus 1, okay, and r plus 1. So plus what I'll get is plus I'll get what a of l minus 1 into a of k into a of r plus 1. Is this point clear to everyone? This is the concept for this particular problem. Is it clear? Please write clear in the chat, everyone. Are you clear with this approach, everyone? The idea is pretty much clear to everyone, like what we are doing and how we are doing it. And like in this range I'll try to choose every k. Like suppose this is the range l to r, right, and the rest of the part is here. So I am saying that what I will do is I will assume this as the k one time, right? Then this will be the kth guy. Suppose this will be the kth guy. So out of this I'll find the maximum out of them. Is it clear to everyone? Is this part clear to everyone, guys? Is it clear to everyone? Please write clear in the chat if you're clear with this thing, and then we can go on and write the code as well. Okay, is this part clear to everyone? Please write clear in the chat, guys, and then simply I can proceed further as well. Is that clear? I'm just looking at the chat. Brute force approach. Yeah, basically this is the brute force approach, but I can apply the DP thing here, na? So that is the concept that I'll be using. So what can I do from now on? So I can simply say that first of all, let me say that I already have the size as n. Okay. So then what I can do is like I can simply say one thing, that let's say if I'm having this much, so what can I do? Like I can simply say that let's say that we are having vector, we'll declare another vector. Let's say, okay, let's name it as nums or anything. So what I'll do is first of all I'll say that vector in nums is what I'll declare. Then I'll say that okay, initially I'll push back one in the starting. Please write one in the chat if you're clear with this thing. So initially what I will do is initially in the starting I'll push back nothing but one. Okay, is that clear to everyone? In the starting and the ending I need to push back one now. Is that clear? Okay. So in the starting and the ending, I'll be pushing back one. So what will I do furthermore? Like guys, can you tell me what will I do furthermore? Like let's say like this array has been given to me. Let's assume this thing that this is the array. So let's name it as ARR only. Okay. So I'm saying that what I've done is, let's say this array was given to me. Let's say the array was given as 3152. Suppose that 3152. So what I've done is this nums array was there. Okay. So I've inserted one in the end. Now I'll insert one at the beginning as well. So how will I insert one at the beginning? So what can I do for that? I can say that array dot insert. Okay. Then I can write what array dot begin, and I can write array dot begin comma one. So from the in the beginning also I need to insert one. Is that clear? Then what I will do is I'll write a recursive call. Okay, and I'll be starting from where? I'll be starting from one. Okay, I'll be starting from where? I'll be starting from one. Right. When I start from one, then I'll pass n as the last range. That this is the L and this is the R that I'm having, and I'll pass this nums array. Sorry, ARR array. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone till this point? All of you are clear till this point? Please write clear in the chat. If you are clear till this point. I'm getting a lot of ads today on my video. Okay, fine. So if you're clear, you can hit the like button, guys. Okay. Now, what will I do? So what can happen? Like consistently when I'll be crossing now, so L and R are there. So L and R will keep on decreasing. So it might happen at certain point of time that that L and R might cross each other. Like what might happen is L can come here, R can come here. So when they will cross each other, that is when the function that is when I should end the recursive call. So what should I say here? Like I can simply say that I'll be having an int recursive function, let's say, okay, and I'll be passing the L range, I'll be passing the R, and I'll be passing the vector int ampersand array here, right? This is what I've done. Now after this, if L is greater than the R, please write clear in the chat if you're clear with this condition. If L is greater than the R, then I'll simply return what? I'll simply return 0. But okay, there's no possible answer. Otherwise, what I'll do is I'll mark the maximum as, let's say, int min. Okay. Initially, if I want to calculate the maximum out of all the k, like if I'm having the k, right? If I'm having this range L to R, right? So I'm choosing various k's, right? So I'll be having various answers. So out of them, I want to choose the maximum, right? So that is why I'll have a variable as maximum, right? So what I can say is that int, let's say let's say a value k will start from L, okay, and I can say that k is lesser equal to nothing but R. K is lesser equal to nothing but R, and then I can do a k plus plus here. Is this point clear to everyone? I hope that it makes a lot of sense to all of you, right? So I'll say that okay, let's say the answer for this particular current range will be what? I'll call the recursion for what from L, okay, till k minus 1. Okay, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to pass the array, right? So the left will be calculated. Similarly, recursion will be called for k plus 1 till r. Okay, and I'll pass the array here as well. Is this point clear to everyone? Please let me know if you are clear with this point, guys. Right, and then plus what? Plus array of l minus 1 into array of k, and then multiplied with array of l r plus 1. Okay, this is what I'm going to do, and every time I'm going to consider the maximum. So mx is equal to maximum of mx comma the answer that I have seen so far, right? Every answers. Now in the end, what I will do is I'll simply return the answer here. Is it clear to everyone? This point is clear to everyone. Please let me know. I could not understand today from before watching your session. I think I could not understand today before watching your session. Okay, so now you have understood it. That is really great, Rishit. Right. So this is what I have done here. Okay. So let me try and see if it works, or I need to do something else. I hope that I'm not forgetting anything. Okay, I need to return the maximum now. Right. So let's see this. I hope that it works. Right. So you can see that it works fine for the samples. Is it clear, everyone? You can see that it works fine for the samples because it is a brute force approach still, but it works fine for the samples, right? Now let's try and submit this code and see what will happen after I submit it. Can you tell me what will happen? Uh, Okay, it gives me a TLE. Please write TLE plus plus in the chat or TLE in the chat. Quickly write TLE in the chat and then we'll optimize it further. We'll memoize it basically. Right, please write TLE in the chat. Quickly write TLE in the chat, guys, and then I'll proceed further, right? So now we need to do what? There will be several, like if we are using recursion, right? So when we are using recursion, so what will happen? There'll be a lot of overlapping sub problems, right? Overlapping sub problems. So basically, what will happen? There are a lot of states LR, okay, that are already calculated. Okay. So if there are a lot of states that are already calculated, so I'll memoize it. Please write memo in the chat, memo OP in the chat, right? So I'll do what? I'll use the concept of memoization, right? So I'll memoize it. Okay. So basically, there'll be a lot of states DPLR that will be already calculated, and I don't want to calculate them again. Is it clear? If everyone is clear till this point, you can hit the like button if you haven't already. I'm just waiting for 30 seconds, and then I'll proceed further with the code again. Okay. So what can I do here? I can simply say this thing that I will have a DP. Let's say vector of what vector in 2D DP is what I'll be having. Okay, then what will I do? I'll name it as DP. Okay, then I'll have I'll name it as, let's say, DP. Then let's say the size I declare as n plus 5. Okay, then I'll have it as vector int, and then I'll have it as n plus 5 comma minus 1. Okay, so this is how I'm trying to declare this DP. I hope that it will work, and this is the DP that I'm passing here, and let me pass the DP here as well. So I'll be passing it as vector of int. Let me increase the size. Vector of vector int, sorry, 2D DP I'm passing. Okay, now I'll use ampersand DP. Okay, now I will say that, okay, before calculating, if it happens that DP of LR, okay, if it's not equal to minus 1, if it's already calculated, then I'll directly return that particular value. So I'll directly return DP of LR. All right, this is what I'll think of. Otherwise, what I'll do is, if it's not calculated, then I'll say that, okay, let's calculate it. Okay, and then let's store it as well, and then we'll return it. Okay, so then after that, we'll simply return what? We'll simply return DP of LR after calculating it, storing it, and then return it. Okay, now let's try and compile it to see if at least it works or not. I hope that I have not made any compilation mistakes here. Okay, yeah, I have not passed the DP where here also in the recursive call. So let me pass those DP calls also. All right, now let's try and compile it. Is it clear to everyone till this point? If you're clear, you can write clear in the chat. I think it works, right? So you can see here that I have declared a 2D DP basically. Okay, so that's nothing but vector of vector int DP n plus 5 n plus 5. I've taken size higher so that I'm not getting any out of bounds when I submit it. Okay, now let's try and submit this code also to see if it works or not. Okay, it passes all the test cases. So please write clear OP in the chat. If you're clear with this problem, Please write clear OP in the chat. I have tried to explain this problem as clearly as possible, as basic as possible. So you can write clear OP in the chat, or you can give me a +1 in the chat, or you can write understood in the chat if you're clear with this particular problem. Is everyone clear with this problem, guys? Is everyone clear with this problem, guys? Okay. Is everyone clear with this problem? Okay, Rishit is clear. What about others? Others are also clear with this problem? Okay, Rishit says clear. What about other people? I think others must also be clear with it. So this is how we do this particular problem. Right now, as you can see in my code, so I'm having several states, right? So you can see that I'm having LR. Okay, so these are the states. So basically, you can say that my complexity will be I'm running a loop inside every time, right? In every recursive call, like see, basically the number of states is n cross n. Okay, the unique number of states is n cross n, right? Because I'm having LR. So the total number of different states that I'll be having is n cross n. Now, in every state, in one state, in one recursive state for a particular LNR, I'm running a loop order of n time. You can see that I'm running a loop now. Please write loop in the chat. So I'm running a loop. You can see k loop, right? So that is why for one time, for one particular state, for one state, the loop is running order of n time. So total there are how many states? Order of like n cross n states are there, right? So basically the time complexity will now be n cross n into n, right? So that's cubic in nature, you can say. And talking about the space complexity of my approach, so you can see here that if I'm having only storing dp of lr, so my space complexity is square in nature, so it's order of n square, right? Is that clear to everyone? Please write clear in the chat. How do we get better in competitive programming? By practicing as much as possible. If you want to get better in competitive programming, then you can do one thing. You can search this thing, mastering code forces greedy problems, like mastering code forces greedy problems. Okay, greedy problems, you can search this thing on YouTube. There was a channel powered by Geeks for Geeks, so we had made some videos on it. So mastering code forces greedy, you can search mastering code forces game theory, right? And you can also search for this thing, mastering code forces sorting problems. Like basically everything else will remain the same, but only the topic will change. Mastering code forces by search. If you'll search for these things like us, you will get a lot of videos that are made by me. A total of I think how many videos? Let's say a total of more than 25 plus videos you'll get, 1 hour each. So 25 hours of content you will get. By watching that also you can improve a lot. Is it clear to everyone? This problem is clear overall. Please write clear in the chat if you're clear with this problem, and then I can end this session peacefully. Okay, so this problem has been asked in several companies. I think the company's name have not been given, but I hope that this problem was clear to you inside out. Right, basically, I'll walk you through this problem once again little bit more. Okay, so you can see here what I did was I basically inserted one in the end, okay, and one in the very beginning of this array. How much time you took to become good in DSA? I think I took almost 6 months, right? After inserting one inside the end and the inside the starting, then I declared a DP as well for n cross n. Then after that, I started the recursion from 1 to n. Okay, I passed the array. Now, if L is greater than R, I return 0. If LR state is already calculated, I return -1. Otherwise, I try to break it from K. So I'm assuming that the Kth balloon is the last balloon that I'm breaking. So in that case, I'm assuming that from L to K minus 1, it is already calculated optimally. And from K plus 1 till R, it is already calculated optimally. So that is why I'm breaking it from L minus 1. Okay, so I'm breaking, like in that case, if I'm bursting the kth balloon, so in that case the left balloon will be L minus 1 and the right balloon will be R plus 1, right? And I'm calculating the maximum out of all the states. Then I'm storing the answer in the dp state, so that I don't have to calculate it furthermore again in the future. And in the end, I simply return this particular calculated answer. So please hit the like button, guys. I'm just waiting for 30-second more. So please hit the like button if you haven't. Okay, please hit the like button if you haven't already, and then I'll end this stream as well. Hit like and give me a +1 in the chat. I have passed 1 year, but I'm still stuck in some problem. No, no problem. I still every day I still learn new concepts. Okay, is it clear to everyone? I hope that it is pretty much clear to all of us, right? Okay. So with that being said, thanks a lot everyone for joining for this particular session. And you can see that now the new problem of the day will be what? You can see that the new problem of the day is wine buying and selling. So it's a greedy problem, so please make sure to do it. Tomorrow night Abhinav will be taking up this particular problem on YouTube, so please make sure to solve the problem of the day, and you can give me a plus one for the very last time in this particular video. Then I'll end this video as well. Just give me a plus one or write a good night, and then we can end the session peacefully. If you have understood this problem and the concept, the basic concept, the fundamental concept, if you have understood that, okay, you are trying, like in a range L to R, you're assuming that all the balloons towards the left and the right were burst, and you're assuming that you're bursting the kth balloon, right, in the n. So that means that all the from L to k minus 1 already calculated using recursion optimally, and from k plus 1 till r already calculated using recursion. Then if you're bursting the kth, so array of k into array of L minus 1 into array of r plus 1 is what the answer is. When I burst the ith balloon, so I plus 1 I minus becomes neighbor, right? Becomes the neighbor, right? But I am saying that if in this case, as I said, if I'm bursting, so if I'm bursting this like kth balloon in the end, okay, I'm bursting this kth balloon in the end. So I'm assuming that, okay, these balloons are in this range L to R, these balloons are already burst. The green balloons are already burst, okay, already burst. So this is the last balloon that I'm bursting. So if this is the last balloon that I'm bursting, so in that case, this is the kth balloon, okay, and its left will be what? Left guy will be r plus 1, okay, and the sorry, right guy will be r plus 1, and left guy will be n minus 1. So that is the concept that I'm using. Great session. You have good problem solving skills. Thanks a lot. Okay, sorry, I did not show you the this part. Right. So you can see here, as I said, like if I'm having this particular part, right. So if I'm bursting the kth balloon, okay, if I'm bursting the how we assume that all the balloons are so how we can assume that the bursts are not present in the array anymore, because I have written already the functions for them. Now you can see here in my code I've already written the functions, like I've already written the lines for them. You can if I'll scroll it like this, so you can see here now I've already written the lines here. So I've already written that, okay, from L till k minus 1 and from k plus 1 till r, they are already burst. So now kth balloon is the last that I'm going to burst. So if kth is the last that I'm going to burst, right, so in that case, if the all the left and the right balloons are already burst in this range, so if the kth is going to burst, so its left will be L minus 1 and the right will be r plus 1. So that is why I'm multiplying array of L minus 1 into array of k into array of r plus 1. Okay, so this was it for today's session, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it, you liked it a lot. So please make sure to hit the like button if you are watching the recording as well. With that being said, thank you for watching this particular video, and I'll see you in another problem of the day for Monday. Till then, okay, you want me to share the code? I'll share the code as well. Just give me a second. I'll share my code as well. All right. So just a second. Like I can copy this code now. Okay. All right, I'll copy this code and share it with all of you. So let me share the code link with all of you. You can hit the like button if you haven't, guys. It was a good problem, to be honest. And I'll share this link with all of you. Okay, so here's the link of my code. You can go through it as well. Okay, so with that being said, thanks a lot for joining, and I'll see you in another live stream. And make sure to hit the like button. And after this video is over, please make sure to comment understood if you have understood till the end. After this video is over, I'm still saying that after, like in the comment section, you can go and you can write this thing that you understood this problem inside out. Thank you and good night, everyone. Take care. Keep coding.